Hello, everybody. Chris here at All Leeds TV, reacting to Brentford 5, Leeds 2, I think it was. I walked out with 5 minutes left to walk the dog. I can't bear it anymore. I'll get it out of the way early. Fair play at Brentford. Ivan Toney's an absolute baller. Absolute baller. Proper bit of quality. So fair play at Brentford. Deserve the win. Let's get the second thing out of the way. Refereeing's awful. It doesn't doesn't change the result today, but refereeing once again awful. I'm not going to spend loads of time on it, but just shocking. No consistency. And thirdly, and mainly, let's get on to Leeds. Absolute shambles. Absolute shambles at the back. If Diego Llorente never wears a Leeds shirt again for me, it's too soon. He's dreadful. And this isn't reaction to one match. I've been saying this for a while now. Been saying it for a while. People will have seen me on here saying it. Diego Llorente is a liability, an absolute liability. The back line in general was shocking today. Too high up, which is the manager's fault if that's the game plan he's implemented. Llorente just awful. I mean, for the free kick that Toney's, I mean, it's an absolute pearl of a free kick that he buries, but again, Robin Cotton, there's no need to dive in there. Just stand your man up. It's poor defending. Yeah, I agree with chatting Leeds there. Going forward, we looked decent enough at times. We really did, but defensively, absolutely howling. Get Cooper back in. Get Coops back in. I've been saying it for ages. The bloody dog. Cooper is missed in this backline. Llorente is awful. Awful. I don't know who he thinks he is footballing wise, but he needs to learn to do the basics. And you know what? I'll say it now. If we'd have brought a left back in, another left back, Pascal could have been playing left centre back with Coops out. And I'd far rather have Pascal there. I'd genuinely have Leo Helder at left back and Pascal at left centre back. Derek, I don't think it was a penalty for us. The reason is, I think if they'd have gone back and looked at it, they said first contact's outside the box. So probably not. And I do think theirs was a penalty. It took about 4.5 minutes too long to make that decision, but I do think it was a penalty. But I just think the standard of refereeing and VAR is shocking. But yeah, and I'm not going to be on long tonight, folks, because I've got loads to do. I fly in the morning, so and what else is there to say? Let's get on to Jesse, because again, I've backed him. He got it wrong today. Substitutions all wrong. I agreed with Cine coming off against Everton because he was finding his way back in, but I think he went off at pretty much the same time again today. And he was easily our most dangerous player. Great goal from Cine, by the way. Great goal. But he shouldn't have been brought off. Don't agree with Jack Harrison coming off either. For me, at half-time, I'd have taken Joffrey off and I'd have brought Bamford on and I'd have put Cine in behind Bamford to play off him and Aronson go out wide to the right and Jack stay out left. That's just me. That's what I'd have done. Joffrey should score in the first half, and if that was Rodrigo or Bamford, fans would be giving him absolute pelters. Absolute pelters. He should bury that into the bottom corner in the first half. It's a shit show all around today. It really is. The manager, I'm all for passion and getting carried away and trying to drive the players on, but it's no good when you go too far and then I think a red card's ridiculous. I mean, unless he said something that we don't know about. But it should be a yellow, yes. But he just needs to just calm his passions a little bit for me. Like I said, Ivan Toney's an absolute baller. And you can't give that lad the amount of space we were giving him in the middle today to just feed other players in. It does sound like I'm dwelling on it, but Diego Llorente is an absolute cluster. An absolute cluster. I don't think Ayling's a positive either, Mr. J. Smith or Miss J. Smith, whichever one it is. I don't think he's much better either. I don't think Cody Drama's ready for Premier League football. I really don't. And, you know, I'm not enthused by much today. What I'll be enthused by is seeing Liam Cooper with the armband back on and back in that defensive line against Forest. Because it's just a shambles with no one in there leading it. I don't think Robin's potentially vocal enough to be a captain. And he obviously wore the armband today. It's sort of half mistake of his as well for their fourth. You know, he just flicks the ball on, doesn't get the header right. But again, Llorente tries to play the offside trap, which I guess is right in the first instance, but he almost stops then. Leave your man half a yard offside, yes, but you've still got to track the man in case something like that happens, but he doesn't. And he's 4 yards behind him by the time the flick-on's happened. It's, do you know, it's just absolute basics. It's absolute basics. It's a cluster, an absolute cluster. For me, the defensive line next game should be Christensen, because it sounds like he'll be fit. Robin Koch, Liam Cooper, and Pascal, because we've still no other option there. And he's just... So it's only one change, but Coops brings a whole different dynamic to it. It's just disappointing. And like I said right at the beginning, credit to Brentford. I don't like their manager. I can't stand the man. But, you know, they've slapped 4 past Scum there this season. They've put 5 past us. Got to credit them. Got to credit them. But we gifted that today. Because if you take the goals and the mistakes out the game, you'd probably say it's quite even in terms of play on the park. But it doesn't matter. You can be as good as you want going forward, but if you've got absolute lunatics like Diego Llorente at the back, then it doesn't matter. Jumping over balls, dawdling on balls, mucking about, pissing about, trying to hit 80-yard worldy passes. Just do your job. Just do your job. Dreadful, dreadful. And some of the blame lies at Jesse's door because the substitutions were horrendous. Absolutely horrendous. I agree with changing it up and bringing Bamford on, but taking Cine off is just a crazy decision. Crazy decision. I guess the only positive from today is Cine looks a genuine footballer, like next level. Next level, where he's going to have a lot of joy, is Cine in this. I saw fans before this game saying, why is Gnonto not there? Why is he not playing? Basically, he was sent home for the weekend to sort his life out, which is understandable, right? He heard of Leeds doing the deal at 8 o'clock on Thursday and just flew straight over. So, you know, let the lad sort his life out. But just not good enough defensively. Like Chatting Leeds said earlier, going forwards, we showed some good stuff at times, but again, first half, Joffy should score. Just because he's a 19, 20-year-old kid doesn't mean we don't say it. Should score. People have screamed out for Joffy for long enough. You've got to take your chances. Got to take your chances. And it's a good chance. It's a good chance. Obviously, Bamford misses a sitter in the second half. Well, he puts one that hits almost the corner flag. I can see what he's trying to do. But it almost hits the corner flag. That's a half chance from the angle he's coming in at. Then the one comes off his heel. Then Rocker has his shot saved, but then Rocker obviously goes and scores from the subsequent corner. It was just pretty pathetic today. Like I say, defensively, that's where I'm concentrating this at, defensively, and the manager. Just silly substitutions, silly antics on the touchline to get sent off. and just crazy defending. And in this league, you get found out with defending like that. You can't get away with that kind of crap in this league. You really can't. Yeah, I agree with Leeds United ultras. The ref was bad and VAR, but it doesn't change the overall result for me. You can't have a lunatic like that in your centre back pairing and expect to win games. I wouldn't put Bill in. No, I don't. I'm sorry, but I don't think Bill was great before he got injured. So no, I wouldn't. And I think we need to be big and strong against Forest. And I think Christensen, as much as he's got weaknesses, potentially one-on-one stuff like that, for me, I think he's another big, strong character, bigger and stronger than Bill, who just defensively at set pieces has been caught out time and time again. The one person who should be brought in is Cooper. Should be Cooper. And I hope people who have had an agenda against Cooper for all this time and, you know, League and Liam and all that nonsense are just seeing what we miss when he's not there now. Are just seeing what we miss when he's not there. And if anyone out there is still thinking Llorente is the answer at centre-back, then wow. Because, again, this isn't just a reaction to today that I'm saying this. I've been saying it since some point in last season. The lad needs dropping. Apparently, Jesse thinks that Cooper and Llorente are our best centre-back pairing. Absolutely not. Absolutely not. For me, it would be Coops and Robin. We've not seen much of them together, but I think that would be our best one. I really do. You know, if Coops isn't fit, then Pascal's got to go in at left centre-back and put Leo Helder at left back. Leo can do a job there. He's done it before. So drop Pascal in at left centre back and put Leo Helder out at left back. It's just shocking today. And like I say, credit Brentford for taking the chances, because they did. But we gifted that. We gifted it. And when you hand out gifts like that in the Premier League, you get smacked all over the place. And we got smacked all over the place, scoreline-wise. It's just a horror show. It's an absolute horror show. What's their stadium called? The G-Tech. B-Tech Performance at the G-Tech Stadium from Leeds. Just, I don't think you can say Brentford were rubbish, Dublin. They had a game plan. And, you know, target our centre-backs because they're not good enough. Target Llorente because he's a mental case and hops over balls and gets in the way of his own player and whatever else he was doing. I can't even remember half of it now because he's just an absolute horror show, is the bloke. So if he starts against Forest, then I really, really do question our manager's judgment on some things. Because anyone watching that today has got to say, whether it's a crisis of confidence in him, in Llorente, or, you know, just a drop in form, whatever it may be, the lad should be nowhere near that first team at the minute, that starting 11. Nowhere near. Horrid. And like I say, Brentford took the chances. Cool penalty after having to wait around to take it for ages. Great free kick. Good finish from when Llorente's jumped over the ball, got in Cody Drama's way. Obviously, Meslier comes out. To be fair, if Mellier's getting there, he needs to make sure that ball disappears out of the ground. But, I mean, I'm not really laying any blame at his door. And then Toney's turbo cool, isn't he? And chips it into the net for his hat trick. So sometimes you've got to give a little bit of credit. And I don't like giving Thomas Frank any credit, but it is what it is. It is what it is. And when you have defenses playing like ours did today, that's what happens. I see loads of people saying the ref was terrible. The ref was terrible, but it doesn't excuse all the mistakes that were made. It doesn't excuse the mistakes that were made. And it is starting. And I said, and I think it was on one of Joe's streams that I went on as well about the transfer window so far in pre-season, that I didn't think Charlie Creswell should have been sent out on loan. Now I can see that we'll benefit from him going on loan, but I didn't agree with it at the time. And many more performances like that from our defensive line, like today, and I'll be, you know what I mean? I'll be rolling that line out again. Just shocking. It's just absolutely shocking. People can point fingers at the ref or whatever else they want to do. There is no excuse for that defending today. None. I mean, I'm thinking about it now when someone asked me earlier if I'd bring Bill back in. If Christensen's not fit, then yeah, potentially I would, because I don't think Cody Drama's ready for Premier League football yet. I don't think he's ready for Premier League football yet. That's just my personal opinion. But if Christensen's fit, I'd play him, because I just think he's bigger and stronger, and we're going to need that against Forest. And we don't want Bill breaking down, from trying to get too many minutes in too soon, right? But Jesse needs to take one on the chin today. Subs all wrong. Elements of the tactics all wrong. Can't play that high, but leave that space for Toney to just dictate play up front. Yeah, that's a good one. Llorente was doing his best Maguire impersonation today. Yeah, he really was. What's up, Karim? You still butthurt, mate, from getting beat 3-0. Go cry somewhere else, mate. Go cry somewhere else. I think you need to go look at your own team. Yeah, we were just shocking today. Shocking. And, that's the first time now that I've seen something really worrying this season. And again, it highlights that what we didn't do, because I know we brought a striker in at the 11th hour on deadline day, but a striker should have been brought in far sooner in the transfer window. A left back should have been brought in the transfer window, because then Pascal's not having to play there. Pascal can play left centre back, and Diego Llorente can park his arse on the bench. Right? So it is all, you can loop it all back round to things. You can. No left back. Junior Firpo's injured and hasn't been great since he came in, but don't get another one. I'd rather have seen Leif Davis there today at left back, who again, I'm not sure is ready for the Premier League at all. But I'd rather have seen Leif there today at left back and Pascal in the middle with Robin. It's crap. Creswell probably, I don't know if Creswell scored today, green screen, probably, because he seems to score every week for Millwall, doesn't he? He's having the time of his life down there. Do you know something? If I was Diego Llorente, and after my last couple of performances, I think I'd be going to the boss and saying, I need a bit of time out of the limelight, being big enough and bold enough to say, yeah, I'm not on my game at the minute. Sometimes you've got to hold your hands up and just, admit that you're not good enough. Yeah, and I think I'm going to flash this one up. I haven't been putting comments up because I'm going to do one soon, because, again, I've got loads to sort out. I mean, I'm not a big fan of XG and stats and stuff, but that is telling, right? That is really telling. And it comes down to not a referee. It comes down to defensive howlers. So, yeah, this is a week we just need to tick off as an absolute big bag of bollocks. Big bag of bollocks, innit? We obviously had the deadline day shit show from the chairman, and then we've had that shit show today from Jesse and his defenders. Poor. Sort it out, and sort it out quick. Because as we've seen with some results, this league's topsy-turvy this year. And 2 or 3 bad results on the bounce, and the table can look very different very quickly. So a reaction now, massive reaction is now needed against Forest, who will come with their 354 players on, probably fly up in 4 planes to fill them all. And Forest will be bang up for a Premier League game against Leeds. So, yeah, strap in, Jesse. I'd be having them all in training tomorrow, mate. I really would. I would after that. And I'd tell the attackers to go away and do some work on the attacking pieces, and I'd flog the defenders after death. Probably not the best way to deal with it. Do you know what I mean? Absolutely hammer them fitness-wise, but I would. And I'd go in tomorrow and I'd tell Llorente to expect to not be starting the next game or next few games. So, yeah, in summary, well done, Brentford. Class from Ivan Toney. Class. He's absolute class. I'm surprised he's still at Brentford, and I don't mean that in a disrespectful way to Brentford. I'm surprised. Maybe they did, and Brentford said no, but I'm surprised he didn't move on today. I wish he had done, and he had been there today. But absolute class from Ivan Toney today. Anyone saying bring back Bielsa, just give it a rest. Give it a rest. We're talking about the here and now. Yeah, class Ivan Toney. Jesse got it wrong today. Again, we've seen the frailties in areas that we still need to strengthen, despite a good transfer window. If everyone calls me miserable and negative, like I got the other day when I did a review of the transfer window, we had a good transfer window in certain areas, but we didn't strengthen where we needed to, left back and striker, or not in time. We'll see how Wilf Gnotto comes on. He looks the real deal from what I've seen, but we'll see if he's ready. He looks a strong lad, so fingers crossed he can come in and do something. And yeah, last in the summary is Diego Llorente. Pack your boots up, lad, and take a rest. Take a rest, because you are an absolute shower. An absolute shower. I'm going to leave it there, guys, because, like I say, I need to get off. I'm flying out in the morning to Denmark for work, so I've got loads to do. Appreciate you all tuning in, because it was an absolute horror show. I don't really want to talk about it much more, and I'm sure you lot don't want to relive it time and time again. So thank you for tuning in. Again, please hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. I can't tell you enough how much it helps the channel when you hit the like buttons. It means the video gets out there, more people see it, more subscribers we get, and it allows us to do more and more on the channel. So I'm off to sulk. I'm going to have the Villa game on in the background while I'm sorting stuff out. And at least I don't have to stay up to watch match of the day. There's a positive. Don't have to stay up to watch match of the day. Thanks for tuning in. Thank you for your comments, everyone. I've not flashed loads up today, but I just wanted to get through this. I'll catch you all hopefully in a more positive mindset after the Forest game. Cheers all. Have a good end to the weekend. Bye.